City Current. Hosted by Josh Meny. Produced by Dakota Media Access. Always local, always current.
Hello, I'm Josh Meny with Dakota Media Access, and this is City Current, a source for information regarding the services and procedures of city government. Have you ever thought about where your water comes from? You may have driven over one of the Bismarck Mandan bridges crossing the Missouri River, looked out, and noticed a futuristic-looking structure in the middle of the river basin. That's the main source of water for Bismarck. The Bismarck Horizontal Collector Well is located on the Bismarck side of the Missouri River between the Liberty Memorial and Bismarck Expressway bridges. It's the first of its kind in North Dakota and the fourth largest in North America. This amazing structure took the city of Bismarck more than 12 years to plan and build and cost $17 million. The horizontal collector well is far superior to the old method. The old method, which is still employed as a backup service today, used 4 intake pipes to collect surface water from the river bottom, and the water was more susceptible to runoff, temperature changes, and bacteria. The water that comes from the new well has more consistent water quality for water treatment. Brian Young, water treatment plant superintendent, explains the advantages of the new method.
Here with this collector well, it's about 90 feet below ground. It's not as susceptible to, any kind of runoff. Doesn't raise our costs. We get a very steady flow of water that chemically doesn't change. Makes it really easy on us to kind of dial in our treatment process and keep it steady. So it saves us on that factor. It's also safer in the sense of, God forbid there's any kind of like a contamination event, upstream of us that occurs, and there's like some kind of spill or something that goes into the water. We will make sure that our surface intake, our old intake, is shut off. Just run strictly from the collector well and let that contamination event float on by.
The horizontal water collector well is capable of pumping 34 million gallons per day to the water treatment plant. Here's how it works. As the water flows down the Missouri River, it percolates through more than 90 feet of earth and gravel layers into an aquifer below the horizontal collector well. By allowing Mother Nature to filter out most of the sediments and bacteria, Public Works is saving on operations and maintenance. The horizontal collector well uses a reinforced concrete caisson, a watertight chamber that goes 90 feet down into the earth's surface. At the bottom of the caisson are 14 lateral slotted well screen spokes protruding outward 200 to 220 feet in all directions, 360 degrees. 4 vertical pumps lift the water from the bottom of the caisson and pump it up to the treatment plant through a 36-inch diameter pipeline. Let's take a look inside the structure.
We are standing in the operations or pump area of the horizontal collector well. This is where most of the action takes place, if you will. Again, it's got our vertical turbine pumps here that pull the water out of the bottom of the caisson and sends it to the Bismarck water plant. Upstairs we have a electrical room with its own substation up there that kind of controls all the power to make this place run and operate.
The substation essentially controls the power supply for the 4 vertical pumps. From the horizontal collector well, the water gets pumped via a pipeline to the water treatment plant.
Now we are inside of the water treatment plant, and we're standing on top of what we call a 6 million gallon a day accelerator. And what that is we bring the water from our water source into the center of this accelerator. It enters a mixing zone where we add a polymer, and we add lime for softening, and then they get mixed together. And what that does basically is it makes the hardness ions comes together with the lime. The lime helps to remove the hardness ions, and they fall out of suspension down to the bottom of the basin and get removed to our sludge plant. And the softened water floats up to the top and goes into what we call our launderers, and then gets continued on through our process.
After the softening process, the pH levels in the water are higher than acceptable for human consumption. The softened water is then sent to a recarbonation basin where it is injected with CO2, thereby bringing the pH levels down to stabilize the water, and is a part of the corrosion control system to protect the water quality.
The water is then piped through a filtration process where any remaining suspended particles are removed from it. It then gets sent to the West End Reservoir, which is located near Bismarck State College.
This is where chloramines are created in the water to fight any contaminants in the water distribution system. Bismarck Public Works Director of Utility Operations, Michelle Closey, explains what her department is doing to keep residents' tap water safe.
We've talked a lot about the water treatment plant and the horizontal collector well. Another important component is the water quality actually coming into people's homes. When we're looking at that water quality, there's been a lot of issues that have been raised on a national level that basically came from Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan has raised the issue of high lead levels within the service lines. The service lines are the smaller pipelines that move water from the city distribution system into the homes.
Wanted to provide a little bit background of what Bismarck does for protection of our water quality within our distribution system. Bismarck uses a corrosion control system that actually provides a coating within the pipes to protect those pipes. It's kind of like a film that is coating the pipe, not a harmful film. It's a positive protection that's provided so that anything within the pipe itself is really not leaching into the drinking water that's there.
Because of the corrosion control system, which includes chemical stabilization and coatings in the pipelines, it's safe to drink tap water in Bismarck. Bismarck is required to test and report lead levels from representative samples of lead service lines to the North Dakota Health Department and EPA. The lead test results for lead service lines in Bismarck have been in compliance with the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act. However, if residents are concerned, there are a few techniques residents can use to determine if their service lines are lead.
And if you want to be able to tell if you do have a lead line, service line entering to your home, just take a coin, butter knife, something like that, and just gradually rub on it. And you'll notice that you'll end up with a shiny surface like that. And if it was copper, it'd be more of a rusty brown look. So that's one way to tell. And the other way is with this ballooned end here. This is called a wipe lead joint. And if inside your home you have brass, copper fittings, and you see this from the surface line coming in, connecting to them, this would be a good indication that you do have a lead line.
In addition, here are some extra precautions residents can take if they do find out that they do have lead service lines in their homes. First, you can have the water from your lead service line tested to see if it is releasing elevated lead levels. There are a few local labs, such as North Dakota Department of Health and Minnesota Valley Testing, that will do the lead testing for under $30. If you have elevated lead levels, there are filter products that residents can buy that go directly onto the faucet. Another method, if you have faucets that are not used often, is removing the water that has been sitting in the service line for a long time and replacing it with fresh water from the distribution system by running the water for 30 seconds to 2 minutes before using it.
When you're looking at what the water quality is to the homes in Bismarck, we do have an annual report that we publish. It is actually required by the Safe Drinking Water Act that all citizens that are on a potable water system do get this report. Our report looks like this. It'll be mailed out in the next month within people's bills. But it does give you on the back side, it gives all the tests that are taken within the distribution system and lets homeowners know that we are in compliance. If there's any violations that we have, it is reported on this form as well. So it really is a good piece of public information. If you have any interest in our current one, it is on our website and it remains on our website. So even looking at past ones, you'll be able to find it there. But this is a good source of information. It does provide reassurance to our citizens that we are delivering quality water within the city of Bismarck.
As national concerns and awareness are raised with lead or any other drinking water issue, it is good to check in with how Bismarck and our local area are doing to address these concerns.
We need to get the word out to the people of Bismarck that, hey, all right, there's some concerns out there. You should be concerned, and that's why we're here, is to tell you everything's good here at Bismarck. We're doing things right. The water is perfectly fine to drink, and it's our responsibility to make sure we get that word to the citizens of Bismarck that we're doing a good job for you, and everything's safe, and you guys can rest assured that you're in good hands.
Stay up to date with local city activity by tuning into Dakota Media Access's Government Access Channels 02 and 602 in HD. You can also view government meetings streaming live or via video on demand at freetv.org. Government meetings are also airing live on Dakota Media Access's new radio station, KDAC 102.5 FM. This has been another edition of City Current, a source for information regarding the services and procedures of city government. Thanks for watching.
City Current, hosted by Josh Meny, produced by Dakota Media Access. Find it on freetv.org or watch on Government Access Channel 2 or in high definition on 602. Always local, always current.